Hey everybody, today I want to talk about a very special album that I just listed on my website, needlemeetsvinyl.com, and it happens to be an album by my favorite band, probably yours too, a band called The Beatles, and this album is Rubber Soul. Now, I've had a copy of Rubber Soul on my website up. I think it was up about 2 months ago. It sold very quickly, and after that I had a lot of you sending me Instagram messages, also sending me YouTube comments saying, when am I going to get another copy of Rubber Soul up on the website? And here it is. Now, it took quite a while because it's hard to find. Rubber Soul is a little bit of a tricky record when it comes to finding a great pressing on vinyl. And I've made another video about Rubber Soul, which I guess is like I said, about 2 months ago I made that one. So go back and watch that one for a little bit more information on just the back history of all the different pressings I've listened to and that kind of thing. But I will describe this pressing to you right now. This happens to be a pressing from 1976. It's a UK pressing. And the key feature on this pressing is that it has HTM etched on both sides in the dead wax. And that really is a very key thing. And this record sounds amazing, and it's because of that HTM in the dead wax. Now, I have a bunch of other pressings from this similar time period, like 73, 76, even 78, some that didn't have HTM, and they just seem to lack a lot of low end and just a lot of general volume, actually, to be perfectly honest with you. This one, though, has amazing bass. The bass on this is really the key feature when it comes to Rubber Soul. Some copies of Rubber Soul that I've come across, the bass can be either a little bit distorted or just not there at all, which is obviously both of those things would be a big problem. For example, the Japanese pressing that I have of Rubber Soul, while it's a pretty cool pressing, the bass is just distorted, and also the high end is distorted on that as well. So it kind of knocks it out of consideration as far as a sonically superior pressing. And then there are Rubber Soul copies, UK copies, that are from later in the 70s that don't have HTM on them, that are just kind of dull, is how I describe them. They're a little bit on the quiet side, and that's not a huge deal because you can just turn it up, obviously, on your stereo. But they just don't have the extra energy, the extra excitement that this pressing definitely has. And I will say that, like I said, what a weird sentence I just said. Anyway, let's back that up a little bit. As I was previously saying, this record did take me quite a while to find. First of all, this is in absolutely beautiful near mint condition. No pops, no clicks, no surface noise at all. This is a brilliant listening experience. So that right there makes it worth it all by itself. But on top of that, just the overall sound is just sonically beautiful. Absolutely 100% superior to all the other pressings that I have heard. Now, that's not to say that the original Parlophone on the Parlophone yellow label, original UK pressings from 1965, stereo pressings, that those don't sound better. They probably do. Now, I don't own one myself. I have a mono copy of Rubber Soul on the original, for the original UK pressing, which does sound really good, but it's in really bad shape. But I have a friend who has a stereo original UK pressing on the Parlophone yellow label it does sound very good. But as I mentioned in my other Rubber Soul video, those copies go for insane amounts of money. We're talking upwards of $300 to $400. So they're just completely out of most people's reach. And I'm talking about, obviously, near mint condition copies of those. You can get some, very good or even just good copies for around $50 to $100 a range. So when I was going to set out to find the best Rubber Soul pressing, like I did a couple months back, and for this one, I didn't include the original UK stereo pressings in my listening or my search. I did reference my friend's copy a couple of times just to kind of see as far as the low end of those original UK pressings. And the low end is very, very nice on those. But this low end is, in my opinion, comparable to those, if not at times even better as far as the actual clarity of the low end. That's not to say that there is not just an amazing amount of magic on those early UK pressings as well, because there definitely is, and that's why they're so sought after. But there is also that same magic on this pressing as well. So the cool thing is about Beatle pressings is that most of the time you can find, obviously the original pressings are always very collectible and just fun to have anyway, because that's how they were originally released. But most of the time, there are later pressings that are comparable to or just a little bit under those as far as sound quality goes. So you can't really lose when it comes to the Beatles and Beatle pressings, because there's always something excellent out there, and this is definitely one of those pressings. So if you're interested in picking up Rubber Soul, go to my website, needlemeetsvinyl.com. This very pressing will blow you away. It is so fantastic. Oh, and I also want to mention, if you have only heard the remastered version of Rubber Soul that was released in 2009, and then the vinyl version came out in 2012, this will blow you away. Because while that remastered version has its own merits and it's a very cool one to own, this one just has so much more magic going on with it, as far as it's just a pure analog, beautiful, beautiful recording. So while the remasters are worth owning, this one will just completely blow that one away. So anyway, that's my discussion about Rubber Soul. Go to the website, needlemeetsvinyl.com. Check this one out. It will go very, very quickly, so act now. That's it for now. So we'll talk to you later. Bye for now.